I think that's what we did with this election, essentially, is what everyone's been saying.
What's
We
that?
told in electing, President Trump is we're telling you what we want. We want to get our money, we want to get our deficit in check. We want to get our groceries and our inflation in check. We want to get our housing in check at any means necessary. My challenge too is like,
Can I just say how profound that is?
mhm,
It's like, can we just, I understand that you're about to go on your next point. Don't lose it.
mhm,
Can I just say how profound it is to have a Black woman, African American, whatever, however, to say clearly
mhm.
that the people have spoken. The
Yeah,
country and the people have, and I'm not saying you're picking sides. I'm saying
yeah.
we're playing the board. We're not playing
The
the people.
majority, this is
The
what is
majority, the board says,
the
according to the rules
majority
of this
decided that.
game, the majority does that. And to me, to be in a space to be able to say that and have that conversation and to
Mm-hmm.
just say it and
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah,
feel
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's big
yeah.
because because
Yeah,
that's
like
a
people
big
are
thing.
gonna be like, you're a black woman and you don't
Yeah, like
know,
I
but
don't want to
at
do
the
that anymore because I think
but
it hurts us to do that. I think
yeah, the reality
the
is
reality
that
is right. Get out of the emotions. But go ahead.
yeah, the reality is that based on the polls,
Hmm.
whether you believe the polls were rigged or not, the outcome the outcome where we are, what everyone, the officials are saying is that this is what the American people wanted. Specifically, though, and this is me watching like the news and all that, is like home prices to improve, inflation to get in check,
Right.
and a better economy and less immigration stuff, like a tightening of immigration. I think the other thing too is that what's dangerous here is
Hmm.
that there is no clear path to that for any president,
What's no clear path to what's that?
to lowering inflation, to improving the home. There isn't there, you don't know what the answer is going to be.
Right. So then what do you do when you don't know? What do you do?
You just have to trust the process that's in place. So it's like we have to just trust the process. But this is what is hard, and this is what is hard about this administration. I wish they understood, right?
Hmm.
Is that when you look at the perspective of the people who don't necessarily get it, you have to also look at why they don't get it. Why they don't get it. It's because one, he's been impeached before. It's because two, he says things that make you question, is this even morally right anymore? He's there's the conversation, I'm bringing up Ukraine and Russia. You question things like, we're getting rid of federal workers in an economy that is already struggling. You talk about the fact that he's a billionaire and he's a businessman. And, you know, most billionaires and businessmen, I'm not 100% sure that they will ever value the worker over the dollar. So, as the people of the country, while you're voting for relief, what you're voting for is relief from, things being more expensive. But as a businessman, is that what he's going to fix? Or is he going to find the opportunity for more money? And could it look like tariffs, which is going to mean you're paying more? You see what I'm saying? It could look like um sending immigrants back to where they come from, which means you got more expenses because there's people who are not working these jobs anymore, that were only getting paid less than minimum wage. Now your oranges are going to go from $1 a pound to $5 a pound because there's no one there picking it, because you don't want to pick it, you want to work in IT. So it's like, I get it, but you also have to be sympathetic to why people are so in opposition because it doesn't, we all want the housing to get fixed, inflation to get fixed, the deficit to get corrected.
So here's
But
the
that's
thing.
not really what we want. We want to feel more ease in our spending. We
Okay.
probably should be making more money, is what the solution. I don't know what the solution is.
So the money is where at the top, right?
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
at the top. Money, well, that's what the American people think. The thing is, you have to trim the fat. Like you have to go in and somebody's got to feel the pinch.
Mm,
We cannot get to better days if we don't stop spending. Or
right. Right.
we can't get to better days if someone doesn't say, I really can't afford to go to the grocery store. So I need to start a garden. Like it's the whole thing
Yeah.
with the eggs.
Yeah.
Get a chicken. And you see people on like Instagram and all that kind of stuff, and they're just like, why am I paying for food? Why is my
Just
food?
don't.
Why am I paying for food? What is it? Why am I paying for electricity? I heard someone say, why are the electricity bills so high? Why is this bill so high? Why is this bill so high? So let me ask you a question. When you cook your food at home, does someone, after you finish your dinner, you're around your dinner table with your friends, your family, you had your food, everything, does someone drop off a check for you to pay when you eat your food at home? No. Do you have to
Mm.
tip your mother when she cooks the food at home? No. You do, however, have to tip and pay a bill when you go out and someone else
Does the
prepares
work.
your food and brings it to you and serves you and then cleans up after you while you get up and walk away. The problem with the American people, including myself, because I'm a product of the environment that I have been blessed to live in, we are
Mm.
spoiled. We got it
Yeah.
good.
What does
I
that mean? I get the reset that you're saying.
We need to have
Um,
a reset.
but what I'm saying is what does that mean though for the world? Because I want you to keep in mind something.
Okay. And when you say the world, you mean other countries
Hmm.
besides us.
Hmm.
Okay.
What does that mean for the world? Because a lot of what has afforded other countries to thrive is the
Hmm.
fact that we don't do those things.
That we consume because we're consumers.
Well, look, but just hear me out, because I'm not positioning it as a positive or negative.
Right, right.
I look at like the traveling we've done, and for a lot of these economies, oh my gosh, I was just watching a show on this. A lot of these countries, their whole economy is based off of tourism.
Yeah.
You taking a vacation and going to this little island to have a good time, not cook for yourself, not clean up after yourself, not do whatever. Their entire economy exists because of your nature to be
Consume.
kept.
Yeah.
So you start taking care of, well, I'm just going to wash my own dishes. I'm just going to clean my own blah. I'm just going to cook my own stuff. I'm just going to da 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 da. What do they do?
You know what they do to me? You know
Figure
what
it
I
out.
think? No, they don't figure it out. Money, they want money, right? They
Mm-hmm.
it's economics 101, right? So you want money, you have to supply a need, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to supply a need. It's supply and demand. We demand nice vacations. We demand blue water beaches. We demand umbrellas in our, little drinks and stuff. We demand all those things. And then those countries said, we will supply you with that.
Mm-hmm.
So what now is the currency? Because money can't be the currency anymore because money's not even real anymore. I mean, we could literally Bitcoin, all there's nothing, there's no currency, but what is the currency now? And I think that we've
It's
come to
still money. You
it's still
still go to
money.
work, you
No,
still get
right, but
a
but you
set
but
amount.
why are you spending the money? Okay, the currency became labor was the currency, right?
Mm-hmm.
Information was
Mm-hmm.
the currency during the different ages, information age, labor age, like all these different technology was the currency. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
now I think that we're entering this place personally, because I'm just thinking about I think that the currency is spiritual in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's education. It's the stuff that we say that is intangible, the things that money can't buy. Like you have to start to invest, like sell your culture. Like these other countries, I don't know, maybe it's the food that you cook. Start doing YouTube videos to teach people how to make. I love Nigerian food. I cannot
Mm-hmm.
figure out how to make the egusi stew recipe for the life of me. I need a certified
You've
Nigerian.
been trying or you've been
I've been
messing up?
trying and failing miserably at this egusi stew. I need a
Mhm.
Nigerian to come up in this joint and tell
They got
me
channels.
exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a different type, it's something deeper that people are going to pay for it. But what
Mm-hmm.
is the need? And I think I need like spiritual, like I've been listening to a lot of gurus. And
Mm-hmm.
do we have motivational speakers here in the United States? Absolutely. But to be honest with you, I'm kind of tired of listening to them. So I listen to some of the like, and even if I look at I'll do yoga things like on looking for yoga videos.
Yoga things.
I'll do like yoga videos on YouTube, right?
Uh,
But now I'm like, I want uh I want to watch an Indian yoga instructor,
yogi.
a yogi. I want a proper yogi
Mm-hmm.
because that's their source. Like that is the source. And that's how you see like Toomey so big now because as consumers, we don't have to wait because Walmart was probably buying their stuff from Toomey like 20 years ago.
T
Timu,
yeah.
right? They would have
You
supported.
switched the letters.
So I'm saying Walmart was buying
Timu.
from them like probably 20. So now it's like direct to consumer now. So we could probably get somebody in Asia to create an iPhone for us. We're a global society now, I think. More
Mm-hmm.
global, I guess. I kind of talked a lot there. Sorry. I get
No, I get it. That's kind of scary though. Because isn't that a part of the reason why Walmart even is who Walmart is the consolidation of need? It's like Walmart blew up to who they are because where they are now is because consolidation. Like it's super valuable, super value price point. That's yes, that's a given. They're super cheap. But also it's everything
Mhm.
consolidated into one place.
Yeah.
So when you get into this whole like world economy conversation, and now it's like measuring us down into like smaller communities, it's less consolidation. It's more like me going finding
Yeah. Well, that's what communities are supposed to do. Walmart put a lot of people out of business when
true
they
that.
came
That is
in.
true.
They
That is
came
true.
in, the bodegas, everything. They put a lot of people out of business. But
But what
now,
I'm saying is that's what people chose, though. People could have still also have chose. It's like, can you
because they could
really be
afford
mad
it.
at Walmart? Could you be mad at Walmart? Can you seriously, we're talking about capitalism. Can you be mad at Walmart for seeing a gap, an
Right.
opportunity, and a
Right.
solution?
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
was a demand. I
Yeah.
mean, the same thing happens with every big box, honestly.
Yeah.
Consolidation. And they're like, well, there's a whole bunch of mom and pops that are doing similar things. Let's just buy them all and just do one cool
Let's do
thing
one thing. But then you have people at Walmart.
within ourselves.
Right. Right. Then you have people at Walmart that are working for Walmart and they see the operations. So now you have
Mm-hmm.
those people go back into their communities and they help organize operations within their community so that their community can thrive. because they take something, you go to work, but yeah, you're getting a check, but you should be taking something back of value that can help you learn. Like it's like to me going in the office is like going to school. I'm there to learn some stuff. I'm not there just to collect a
Mm-hmm.
check. Like I'm there to
Mm-hmm.
contribute and to learn. Like it should be a reciprocity. Just like, I'm on my little 90-day probation at work. And they're just like, well, it's 90-day probation. We got to see if you're a good fit. I'm looking at y'all to see if y'all a good fit too. What the hell? Like, are you pouring into me what I'm pouring into this company?
Right.
Right. This was like when I started working in advertising when I was young. I got paid pennies to work at Ogilvy because it was Ogilvy,
Yeah. Yeah, you're taking away a hell of a lot of
taking away
information.
a hell of a lot of learnings.
This is a challenge too, I think. This is a good pivot. With like all the layoffs that are happening. I'm not
Hmm.
even talking federal. I'm talking about just
In
people
general.
getting laid off left and right.
Right.
And how these roles are not being replaced. Like I was having a hard time understanding how the unemployment rate is even calculated because I'm like, how is it possible that the unemployment rate is so low, but so many people are unemployed? Are we
Calculation?
misclassifying people?
Probably. Because
You know what I'm
you
saying? Because it just seems very odd to me that unemployment is, I mean, it's going up. Unemployment is on the rise.
Mhm.
However, we haven't seen the February numbers yet, but
Mhm.
it's still below 4%. And
Ooh,
I'm
what's
just like,
employment? Are we considering gig work like Uber and
that's what I
DoorDash?
can't figure
Because I
out.
think that's the disruption. I
That
think
might be the confusion
that's the
too. People are
disruptor.
doing DoorDash and Uber to survive, but they're actually not employed.
No, that's the disruption. The gig work is the disruptive. The gig work is the variable that it's hard to account for in the equation when you're doing the rate because you don't know. Because I was unemployed, being unemployed, but if I decided that I wasn't going to take unemployment for if I went out and I made $700, right? You can't do both. So I said,
Right,
okay, this week I made 700. I'm not going to file for unemployment because I made the money that I needed. I don't
right.
need that insurance. So that calculation goes into the numbers. And that's why it's hard to calculate what's going on because people are doing gig work.
That is wild. Because it is a misrepresentation about the need of
It is.
employment too.
It is. It's a
And then
very,
it's almost
yeah.
like, are they forcing us into, like, I'm looking at the current consolidation that's happening in the chief office, right? And like how there's a lot of consolidation of work and agency and departments and roles and how it's very much mirroring, it looks like the consolidation that's happening in the private sector
Mhm.
with all these layoffs
Mhm.
and essentially like trimming the fat and but there's all these people who are unemployed now
Yeah.
and it's not a clear picture of unemployment
Mhm.
like that unemployment is how we also understand if our economy is doing well or not. So if you got a bunch of people doing gig work
Right.
and the unemployment appears to be less than 4%, but in reality, gig work is also making up another 3%. Unemployment is actually like 6, 7%.
Right. But then unemployment, okay, you know how else you check and see if people are going into default on their houses? Because you're going to make the
Mm-hmm.
money, you're going to pay for that house because you need some place
Mm-hmm.
to live. So if you're not seeing default in the mortgage sector and the banking, if we're not seeing disruption over there, then people are good.
But
So we
then
need to
who is,
compare the numbers from the last recession and see are people are more people filing for bankruptcy, are more people filing because a lot of student loans have been forgiven. So now that money is not going out the door.
yeah.
So people are like, okay, Are people paying their mortgage? Yeah. Well, they're getting the money from somewhere. They don't have no jobs, but you're paying your mortgage. How are you surviving? Because you figured out a way independent of your 9 to 5, independent of your. That's why they had such a hard time getting people. Because the funny thing about it is they were talking about unemployment, but there was a point in time where McDonald's couldn't find nobody to come to work for them. Because after COVID, everyone couldn't go to
Had a
work
check.
and everybody had to figure out how to make their own money. So those people started making their own money. And then now people just go back to these companies to what? Get benefits. Because what difference does it make if I call in when you pay me $19 an hour, I can go out and drive Uber for 5 times out of the week. I can go drive Uber for 8 hours on Monday and make
Mhm.
everything that I would make in my salary for the rest of the week. Now I have my time. So now time is the currency. It's a beautiful thing. I know it sucks because it's not something we're familiar with. And it is very scary because it's
Mm.
like, how are we going to pay for all this stuff? But nobody's leaving the house now anyway.
I mean, where are people living?
Together,
Oh, you're
multi-family
talking.
homes, multi-generational homes, communal homes. They had a story on NPR a few weeks, months back at this point about how senior living is really expensive. And some people don't have the means to go for senior living. So millennials are housing retired boomers that don't want to go live in a home, but they want a smaller place to live because maybe the
Mm.
kids are gone, they don't need as much space. So some boomers are living with millennials that have purchased the house, and then it's offsetting now that's subsidizing the housing for the millennial. And then people are moving in with their parents. We're taking care of each other. It's just and it's just interesting because now it's going to be really hard to track people. I mean money. You got to track the money where it's going. Follow the money.
I can't gauge if that is a good thing or a bad thing.
What? People living together?
No,
Oh.
but the need to consolidate. Like the need to do that is because you can't afford it.
The
Like you
United
can't
States trillion
afford.
dollars in debt. The United States can't afford anything. We live on credit.
No, I get that, which is so crazy too, because it's like you think about Clinton wasn't that long ago. We were
Right.
in a surplus, and then it's like it vanished.
Why did it vanish? What did we start to do?
We went to war
Yeah.
under Bush.
Yeah. Which was completely uncalled for. I mean,
Um,
we still haven't found the weapons of mass destruction.
yeah, we did all kinds of
That
crazy
was
stuff.
I think if we had to look at the history, and that was the Republicans. That was the Republicans. You look at Reaganomics,
Hmm.
all the black people went to jail, drugs flooded the United States.
I guess what I'm saying is like you would think that you have an economy that is improving because you can see you want an economy where people have more freedom, more abundance, more, right? Opportunity. When you are having to move in with someone to you know,
But now you should have
get
more money.
very
Shouldn't you have more money now that you've consolidated houses?
you should, but how how you define it, it's like you're moving in with someone because you can't afford.
Mhm. To
So
sustain.
you're creating an opportunity to save. However, in an economy that is thriving and that is improving, you shouldn't need to take that particular step. So, like, for example, when our parents were growing up or whatever, and it was so much easier to buy a home
Mhm.
versus the generations that are following us, they cannot buy a home at all.
Right.
They're going to have to create communities and live together to get a house. Like they're going
Yeah.
to have to go in on a house with their friends or, multi. To me, that's a step backwards because that means that our wealth is shrinking if we're
Well,
having to pool to individual wealth is shrinking because we're having to pool together. And a perfect explanation to that too is like you look at the salaries not going up and inflation going up, or the cost of homes going up and salaries not going up.
right.
That's a problem. That's not a good thing to have to move in with someone.
I think there has to be some balance, but I think that we've been so out of balance and technology moved very quickly. Technology moved so quickly and put cashiers. You don't have cashiers anymore. You walk in, you check your own stuff out. And then on top of the fact that you don't have cashiers and you checking yourself out, you don't get a discount on
That's what I
food.
was
I
just
don't
gonna
work
say.
here.
You
Why?
should
Why am I? But the thing about it is
you
the
should get a
technology.
discount.
It's a technology. The technology, a horse and buggy compared to a wheel. You know, one minute we doing a horse and buggy, next minute we doing a wheel. We can drive cars. Okay, but we're talking about technology that has the ability to create other humans. So humanity had better learn how to stick together because if humanity doesn't understand how to stick together, then we will eventually be extinct because they've already figured out a way to duplicate us. So humanity is the currency.
But what's so weird too is like, okay, you duplicate us, we go extinct. How are you what are you getting out of it? You know what I'm saying? Like who's buying what so computers are gonna be buying from each
It's like
like
the Matrix.
I need huh?
It's like the Matrix.
Yeah, but like what computers are gonna go buy a cup of tea?
No, no,
Or like
it's gonna be
what is the point in like human beings going extinct?
we're not. It's just not going to be as much. That we have it's so much. It's so many people are living longer. They're taking more. So it's like COVID, they had the rumor was that COVID was a way of doing some type of what was it? What is it? Population control.
Which wasn't necessary because people aren't having any more children.
But they're living longer.
They're living longer, but you're not having any more children.
Still a human being taking up food, taking up resources, taking up lights. Children and old people ain't it's not like children need lights and old people don't. Still a human
No,
being.
but what I'm saying is you're not creating more people. People are living longer, but it would only create more like you're not adding more people to the bottom line for real. We've essentially stopped. We have less people being born than we do that are dying. We're in a decrease. We're in a decline.
Well, now we are. And I guess the people, they're still consuming. It's the consumption of the person that's the problem. And then old people cost more to take care of. You put a diaper on a kid, you give it some milk, you let it go on about his business for at least 20 years, you have a fairly good and healthy body. You start getting 60 years old, you got arthritis, we got to replace your hip, we got to do the ear, nose and throat shit. I mean, you're expensive. The older you get, the more expensive you actually become. Now you're expensive. And then you're living
I don't
longer.
know.
Now you
Kids are
got
pretty
hospital
expensive too.
bills. And heaven forbid you go to the hospital and something happens to you. Now you got a malpractice lawsuit against us because you are still walking or your old ass is still walking here. We got geriatric care. Old people are expensive.
Mhm.
And that's the thing, the boomers, the boomers consumed so much. They were like the gluttons of they consumed so much. I mean, look at the stuff we had. Think about the movies and stuff from the 80s, like the Ferris Bueller. I mean, look at boomers were living their best life. Per diems. You work for IBM, you go on a business trip, you spending so much money. Boomers spent a lot of money. A lot of money.
I just don't know if there's something wrong with the spending.
It's
That's
nothing
how
wrong
this
with
country
spending.
was. I mean, not, no, no. The spending and the consumption is why this country has made a lot. I mean, it was built off of free labor that wasn't repaid. But a lot of a lot of the reason why a lot of the world has these economies is because of the consumption. And I'm always going back to thinking to like the human experience and what is the point if not to like be
Consume.
able to live and enjoy your life and yeah, like why have trees if you can't go outside and look at them and enjoy
But you
them?
can
Why
go,
have
everything in life is, you can enjoy everything in life that's for free. Just like you have people living out of vans in these tiny homes because they've said, I don't need a big house. I don't need to eat and consume 2,000 calories a day.
yeah.
I can consume 500 calories a day and then I can rest and I can meditate and I'm not
So,
exerting as much energy. It's a beautiful thing to me, at least.
no, I get it.
Because when you go to work, I have people that are still working and they have making a lot of money and they're stressed out and their
Yeah, it's
bodies are
true.
dying.
Yeah, it's
Their
true. It's
minds and
so
their
true.
bodies are dying because they can't stop.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, no, you're right. Also think about like this, the government. Like say we get, I was thinking about Clinton, like say we do get out of this like deficit, which is it seems to be every president's goal, but whatever. We get out of this deficit. It's like maybe there should be some kind of rule in place. Is there a rule in place where we have to reset so that we never get in debt like this again?
That's a great thing. And I think that's beautiful because I think that's where you get your local government involved and you start petitions, you start to say once we get to this threshold,
Yeah,
we
we're
do a reset that becomes that's on the ticket to vote. Like there has to be, I mean, it can't be a law because a law, it can be amended for whatever
mm,
reason. So laws can be changed. So you say you put it on a ticket. This is our threshold. And we do a model. They actually do an actual model and as if they don't probably already have the model, which is probably why COVID happened and why he's in office and all these kind. I'm always convinced that they are 20,000 steps ahead of us.
steps ahead. Mhm.
Yeah. I'm always convinced that they are. But the American people, I think that this is where the transparency comes in because you have to tell people something so that they can start rowing in the same direction. Because people are like in little canoes and like paddle boats like we all need to get on the same ship and start rowing in the same direction.
I don't think that's possible because
I do.
everybody thinks they're right and they think they have the best idea.
I
Everyone
will follow
does.
someone that has a good plan. And some people need to learn how to follow and not be leaders. And some people need to learn how to take
Yeah.
the back seat and just chill out and just let somebody else take the ship and just follow on and learn some stuff along the way. And as you learn along the way, then you can fix it or whatever.